Arkansas has fired Chad Morris, and we got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I'm not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we got to talk about Chad Morris, who becomes the second Power 5 head coach to get fired on his day off. Yo, Chad Morris signs a 6-year deal with Arkansas 2017 worth $21 million. They feel pretty good about it after hiring him away from Southern Methodist, but it wasn't really the Southern Methodist part of his game that they was feeling good about. They was feeling really good about the Clemson part of his game, where he was the offensive coordinator of basketball on grass. They won some games. They got to some national championships. Dabo Swinney still got that train rolling. But before that, Chad Morris was doing a doggone thing in my alma mater at the University of Tulsa. And that's after he was doing a doggone thing at Lake Travis, where he was coaching quarterbacks and winning trophies. And then all of a sudden, he gets to be the Woo Pig head coach, and the Woo Pig head coach ain't for you, dog. It ain't for you. 4-18 as a head coach with losses to, count them, Western Kentucky yesterday. Ty Story lit that behind up 45-19 to Western Kentucky to the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers rolled in and got W's in Woo Pig Stadium. That's not what it's actually called. I'm just making a joke there because, well, there's nothing but jokes to be made about Arkansas football at this time because Arkansas fans know it. And I understand that Arkansas fans got to feel real good about themselves right now because they wanted to get Chad Morris all the way up off the blacktop. And now that he all the way up off the blacktop, they get to go do the head coaching search thing too. Now, don't mess this one up. Go get Mike Norvell at Memphis. Call it good. All right? That's free. Go get your mans because you can mess this up. You can mess this up real bad. I understand that Hunter Yurachek did not hire the one man's the Chad Morris, but I also understand that a search firm, a search firm. Nah, man, save your money and just come to the channel and we'll hook you up. We'll hook you up in the comments too. Leave who you think should be the next head coach for the Arkansas Razorbacks in the comments. And don't say nothing asinine like Nick Saban, all right? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. I'll let you slide with Brent Venables. He ain't going to take the job, but it's not as asinine as saying, yo, let's go get the dude who's been the most dominant college football head coach of all time and see if he wants the job. No, that's not what it's going to be. Don't say stuff like Lincoln Riley, Dabo Swinney, Ryan Day. Be realistic in what you want and who you want it from. Now, that said, Arkansas has losses in the Chad Morris era to North Texas, Mason Fine and them, San Jose State, Josh Love and them, Western Kentucky, Ty Story and them, and that story, well, pun intended, is amazing. And there's a few other ones that I could think in there that I could throw in there, but I don't need to really do that because all you really got to do is look at Chad Morris's Power 5 conference record against, Power 5 coaches, and you get what you need. Matter of fact, no, you get what you need, but you don't always get what you want. That's what it is for Arkansas Razorbacks football right now. So, knowing all that we know about what's going on with Arkansas Razorbacks football, knowing the pride that Hogs fans have for a football team that's won one national championship in its existence, who you think we're going to go take that job to be the man in the state of Arkansas? I say Norvell because I think it would be a move up. I think that he got Memphis right where he wants Memphis, but I also think that he's going to have his pick of jobs this year. There's also some other dudes out there that I think you should go take a look at. One of them is Jason Kendall at Toledo. I likes the man. I likes them a lot. Maybe you actually want to go and get somebody else that's been doing some really nice things, particularly in, the non-Power 5s. Because, when I look around and I see Josh Heupel over there at Central Florida, maybe you want to give him a look. I'm just saying. The American is littered with a bunch of dudes that I think going to get head coaching opportunities in Power 5 conferences like Luke Fickell, among others. But, yo, man, maybe you would do what I would do, which is, short of Mike Norvell, go give Bill Blankenship a call, okay? Do a little research on Bill Blankenship. I understand. A high school coach, you're not going to want to do that. But anybody that tells you what Bill Blankenship is about and tells you that he built a recruiting base that allowed Philip Montgomery his only winning season as a head coach, you understand what I'm getting at. But more than that, Arkansas fans want to compete in the SEC. And they want to be not the laughingstock of college football. And I understand what it means to be the laughingstock of college football because take a look at OU's defense 2017-2018, particularly against Iowa State last night. You understand what I'm talking about. I also get that, y'all probably feel good about this. There's a weight off your shoulders. You feel some sort of relief because I made this video about how Arkansas Razorbacks football collapsed. And yes, there are a few things that I would redo in there. Notably, I would include the very short tenure of John L. Smith. But what were you getting out of this? I mean, because like if you let the man continue to go on and get fired like this, now we have a 1-1. Now we have somebody that actually was just as bad or worse in many cases than Willie Taggart. Now we get to talk about, a dude that really didn't get all the time in the world to turn around a program that wasn't great. And now, as bad as it is to say, how the hell did Bobby Petrino pull this off? Like, how did Bobby Petrino make Arkansas into one of the best teams in college football at one point in time in the SEC West? Remember when the SEC West had like 3 of the top 5, 7 teams in all of college football? Not unlike it is right now where they had LSU, Auburn, and Alabama. Arkansas want to get back to that. I understand that. But I also was always thinking that Arkansas was having a ways to go. So now that we know that we got Chad Morris up out the paint, we can talk about $3 million that Arkansas paid out to dudes to come through and beat them down. Yeah. I get that Oklahoma has sustained excellence for like 20 years, give or take. And there's dudes that can remember the Schellenberger year, and they can remember the Blake years, they can remember the Gibb years, and yada, yada. But, I mean, you got to go way back before you get to Gomer Jones. But it ain't never been for Oklahoma what it is for Arkansas. Matter of fact, I don't know what team it's been like that for in the Power 5. I mean, we really gotta look around, don't we? We got Oregon State, but Oregon State ain't got no national championships. They ain't got no tradition like that. You had some doormat years for some of these schools, but with Chad Morris because the buyout was $11 million. That is 14 for Bielema. They just got done paying that. So apparently they took the buyout money that they were using to pay Bielema, and they said, hey, Chad Morris, here. Now, going back to Texas, maybe coach some high school football. And that's the worst part about this for me personally is Chad Morris knows from offensive football. Like, he knows what scheme works. He knows how to teach quarterbacks. And that was always frustrating to watch is he couldn't get a quarterback that could just pick it up and put it down. And more than that, John Chavis was not figuring it out on the defense. So what is there to figure out if you can't figure it out on defense, can't figure it out offensively? Yeah, you got to blow it up and you got to start over, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And maybe you can go get somebody in there that you like, because I think that's what Arkansas needs right now. I think you need to get somebody in there that you like and likes being there. The way that people like Scott Frost in Nebraska. Nebraska sucks. Nebraska's awful. But people like Scott Frost. And I say this all the time. 3 things get you jobs, and you only need 2 of them. Have people like you, be good at your job, arrive on time. If you arrive on time and people like you, you can go 4-8 at Nebraska. It's fine. I'm not sure that everybody liked Chad Morris. And I get that wins do a lot for whether or not people like you or don't like you. So, but that's also part of being good at your job. And he wasn't good at his job. And I feel some sort of way for him because Chandler Morris is committed to play football at the University of Arkansas next year. That's his son coming out of Highland Park. And that's after he already took in, Jerry Jones' grandson, and he's playing a little bit of quarterback out there. So I'm interested to see what this recruiting class becomes because there's a couple of Arkansas commits that are in there that might actually start looking the other way. Blaine anybody, but we'll see what that means for Oklahoma and others. But right now, if you're an Arkansas fan, let me know how you feel in the comments about this because I understand that I was saying that it ain't going to be long, and that was like 2 months ago, and it ain't been long. So now that it is done and it is over, let's take a look around the country. Who would you like to see? Drop it in the comments below. We will follow this as it continues to go because this is about to get wild and entertaining. Deuces.